Hey guys, Major Dodo here. Time for another Kingdom Death Assembly Guide. Today we're doing the old Survivor, aka Survivor number 8 on the 1.5 update sprue. I presume it all comes on the same sprue in the core box as well. I got the original core box, so I only needed to get the update kit this time. So I guess we'll just get started. Now I've got hobby knife, glue, some files, and my clips. Optional as well is, as I've kind of shown before, just an old large brush like this, which will brush away any plastic shavings as you're going to assemble it. Alright, so we'll start off with the main section, the torso. As this seems, it doesn't seem like a very complex build, but I thought, you know, I've got them there, better record them, go through just in case there's any like issues and stuff. Try and make sure everything's on camera. It is hard to watch what I'm doing and watch the camera at the same time. So I'm just going to start off by clipping out, probably clip out all the pieces, to be honest. Doesn't seem to be, as I said, doesn't seem to be a very complex kit. So we should be right. The feet, which is separate for some reason. Oh, yeah, no, I can see it. The sprue splitting on this is still kind of weird though. And then we need the arm with the club. I'm kind of cool. This model does look pretty cool. It is one of the ones I'm looking forward to painting. So hopefully I'll get to it soon. I'll leave these three pieces on. These are spare survivor weapons to equip to your dudes, so don't throw it away. In fact, what I will do is just cut this sprue away. Just like that. You know what? Cut this off as well, as I know some people have had problems with these pegs. There we go. So I'll put this aside. Rest of my spare survivor weapons. Get rid of the sprue, as I've got tons left. But as I've said before, if you don't have some spare sprue, don't throw it out, because it's always helpful to have some around. We'll get rid of that. Get rid of our rubbish off our desk to start with. As you can see, though, it is, you know, a very, very simple design. Oh, very simple assembly. At least it should be. I mean, with me, anything could happen. So I'll start off, clean off the sprue cut marks and look for mold lines. There is one mold line running up here, which I'm going to get with my knife. Nothing on that side. Just going to feel around the model. Again, oh, why do they put the sprue connectors on the top of the head? Like, they could have done it down the bottom, but no. Got to do it on the top of the head. I'm surprised I didn't stick it in the middle of the bloody hair. Alright, and we'll get this bit. Right, now be careful, there are two feet on the bottom of the lamp that you don't want to cut off. I mean, you could probably smooth it down and just ignore it, but don't want to get rid of any extra detail that you don't have to. Just making sure that this is nice and smooth. It's on the top of the head for this piece as well. It's like, could you not have found somewhere better to put it? See, I just carved too much out of there. I'll have to fill up his head when we put it together. That's no biggie. So he's got a seam line running all the way across his head now, which I will show you guys in a moment once I've kind of sussed out. Alright, so dry fitting time. Looks like that goes there. Oh, so it's a two-handed pose. I was wondering about that. So that's cool. Now, I haven't looked at, like, I had a look through the 1.5 update, and I'm told that Club Specialty is now more useful than it was. So hopefully, you know, have more occasions to use this guy. Apart from just when you want to use a badass survivor with the two-handed weapon. Just generally what I use. I don't worry so much about what they've got, as opposed to just, you know, is it got a two-handed weapon? Is it got a sword and board? Is it got a bow? Is it support? Yeah, that kind of thing. I don't see the need to worry too much. I mean, there's people just proxy with colored bases. It's not hard. As long as you can keep track of everything is the important thing. Alright, so we've got another piece of sprue on the side here. Actually thought this was going to be a lot more complicated till I sat down just before I started recording and kind of had a look and went, alright, so how exactly do I think this is going to go together? As usual, you know, haven't looked at any other guides, haven't looked at anything, just kind of like come into it fresh. So I'm going to try and get at this sprue mark. So, how does his feet go? You can't just like go up there. They've got... Well, that's a leg. Did I miss another leg? Oh, that's a leg. That's right. Thought that was an arm for some reason. That makes significantly more sense. So clean these up. Again, look for mold lines. Even if it's not going to be in an area, like if it's going to be an area where you can't see it, sometimes it's a good idea to check that it's not, like, you check that if you leave them, it's not going to make it fit incorrectly. Because sometimes just that little bit of mold line can kind of put things out enough that they won't fit smoothly, depending on how much of a margin of error they've sculpted in with the digital sculpting. Alright, we'll get this bit. Alright, so we need the arm. I was missing something. Alright, so first off, I'll assemble this. I'm just going to use my normal Tamiya cement. Now, as usual, you don't want to go overboard, but a little bit of seepage will help fill in seam lines. Luckily, I don't think these will be too bad. To the other one. Tell you what, the sooner the local hobby store gets restocked on this stuff, they'll be happy. I know they're getting like 30 something bottles of it in. Well, it has lasted me a while. Like, I think the last bottle of this I bought was months ago. And I do a fair bit of assembling for commissions for work. So it has certainly... I mean, it's like $5, so... It's cheaper than a lot of the other plastic glues on the market as well. God knows, I think like the Citadel plastic glue is like $11 for a bottle that's half the size. You can get a smaller bottle as well, I think. I was looking, when I was doing the kind of, the little bit of post-production that I do, I was looking for the exact bottle that I use. And I found that there is an orange variant, which is about half the size. So I'm just dry fitting these, the short arm. In fact, I'll zoom in, you guys get a better look at this. So this is just dry fitted at the moment. This arm and this arm, single pose. Don't see this as much of an issue. The only real decision is, do you want this glued on for assembly, for painting? Which I don't think it will be that big of an issue. He holds the weapon out far enough from his body that you should be able to get in between it. So just going to start off, I'll put some glue on here. I'm going to press it in tight. Now a little bit of extra glue, as usual, I said, will seep up and fill in that seam. Take this out and do the same thing. If there is still a gap, like a noticeable line, just a little bit of green stuff, liquid green stuff, you only need a little bit. And just press it in, or brush it in. You brush it in like paint, really. And it's good because like paint, you can just thin it out with water. You can clean it all off again if you want, if you stuff up too badly. So I'm just going to hopefully get everything to line up. Looks like they'll have a small seam along that bicep, which I'll have to fill in later. So the next piece will be his leg, I believe. Yep. Which will go out here, out this side. I might move up the camera a little bit. So sit him on his back. As I said, it is quite an easy assembly, which is good because it's been a long day. Now I do, of course, have plans to go back and I'll do the Young Survivor tomorrow. Get that ready as well. The other one looks a little bit more fiddly. I don't know if it's going to be more complex, but does look fiddly, which is not something I'm looking forward to. Right, so the last pieces are his leg and his feet. Now obviously want to dry fit this piece, so I'm just going to like wiggle this around until I can find where exactly it's supposed to fit. You also want to make sure, if you're not waiting for this to dry, make sure you don't bump that. Now I'd hope that this would sit smoothly, that there would be that it would be sculpted in a way that it would just kind of fit. I think it's going to have to be like that. So let's zoom out a little bit again. Some plastic glue on the end. Now you want the depressed end to the back. And it will just kind of twist in smoothly, like so. And you can see the angle here. It's probably be the easiest way to tell. That should be pointing towards front like this, and now just got to do his feet. So obviously work out which foot is which. If you get confused, look down. Oh, I suppose that won't work as well if you're wearing shoes, but you know, it's not exactly going to be hard. Although there is always the temptation to do it deliberately, just to see who notices. I have a feeling that they wouldn't fit as smoothly if I did. So I'm going to push it in fairly hard. Just try and be careful not to get your finger on any glue seepage, as it'll cobweb. You can always go back and fix it later. Alright, we'll get the other one. Just a little bit of glue on here. Now the last decision is whether or not to glue it to the base now. So because I haven't waited for this to dry, I have to like twist this back into place. Try and figure out how is it supposed to be like that? It can't be how it's supposed to be. It's gotta be more like it. Just test fit like that. So in my case, I'm pretty sure I'm going to glue it to the base just for the sake of stability. Well, I've already noticed that the skirt seems to fall down just past his actual feet. So you may want to go with stone face bases if you have them. It's not too bad though. Alright, let's do it. Let's glue his feet on. Point of no return. I don't want to muck around with this. Now do make sure as well you clean up the base a little bit. I've been a bit lazy and haven't done that. It takes 2 seconds. By clean up the base, I just mean get your top part of the insert and just kind of go around and make sure there's none of these bits of plastic poking out past it, as it'll stop it fitting in the insert base as easily. Now, as I've mentioned before, I do avoid gluing the two halves of this together before painting, as usually I just spray paint this black. Now you can also, if you're planning on swapping bases, I'm going to be doing this for a client, is magnetize this base and then put another magnet in here if you think you can drill through, or something magnetic, you know, piece of metal, or I think you can get magnetic paint even, and that way so he's going to have 4 colored bases like this, and then when he gets one of his other survivors, they're just going to clip in. Anyway, that is the old survivor done, looking very feral and angry. Thank you for watching. Young survivor should be up tomorrow. As usual, I'll throw some info into the channel info, the little, you know, description box, that kind of thing. If you find this guide helpful, please click subscribe and check out some of the other videos. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time.